This hour of the show is brought to you by Buyers Right. For 70 years, Buyers Right Insurance has been responding to their customers with honest and accurate information. For your insurance or personal insurance needs, trust Buyers Right, where relationships matter. And now back to Donna Francavilla filling in for Richard Dixon on the Richard Dixon Show on 1070 WAPI.
Well, thank you so much, Austin. I am Donna Francavilla, and Richard Dixon has the day off, and he entrusted the airwaves to me, which is kind of dangerous. But I decided that we should have a little fun, so I've asked Charles Barkley to join us, and, you know, he is a native of this area, and we're so proud to have him live here, and he's made us proud in many ways, and he's outspoken, and he's fun, and unpredictable, and he'll be joining us shortly. But before we get to him, I want to tell you, have you signed on to AL.com today? There's a story there about the world's longest yard sale. It begins the first Thursday in August, and I've covered this before. This is a great story. People line up for many miles, and they just basically take all their junk and they bring it to the curb. And it literally is everything but the kitchen sink. No, or it's everything including the kitchen sink, because there was once when I went out there to cover the story and I found somebody selling a kitchen sink. It is so much fun. You just don't know what you'll find. And if you've ever have gone out and participated in a yard sale, there's all kinds of negotiation going on. I'll give you 25 cents for something that's probably worth, a lot of money, like $100. And they're like, what, really, 25 cents? But that's the kind of thing that goes on. There's all kinds of bartering, and I would love to hear your yard sale stories. But sometimes at the end of the day, you're just like, just take it. I don't want any money. Just take it. I don't want to haul it back inside. I don't want to take it in the garage. I got it out on my lawn. That's it. It's not coming back in. So, but I have managed to sell lots of things through the years. As my children have grown, I sold their baby clothes, and they always went really well. And I've sold other kinds of things, and it's always been fun. So, are you going to participate in this yard sale? I think it comes. Let's see, the route it follows Lookout Mountain Parkway from Gadsden to Chattanooga. So I think it used to come all the way through Alabama, but I'm not sure now. Anyway, I'd be curious to know that. And if you want to know how to reach us, the number is 944-1070, 944-1070, or you can call in for free, toll free at 866-927-1070. On Facebook, they have a page, facebook.com, WAPI Radio, and on Twitter, it's at WAPI Radio. And you can reach me, by the way. I have a couple of websites, donnafrancavilla.com and frankly-speaking-communications.com. And my Twitter address is Donna Francavilla, but it's without the last L and the last A. So Donna Francaville is actually my Twitter handle. And I am a CBS radio reporter. I cover the biggest national stories, and also have my own entity called Frankly Speaking Communications, where I do presentation training and media training, and also am a counselor advisor and do some PR work. So let's take a look at what's in the news. The legislature, state lawmakers went back to Montgomery today, and they are having to deal with the shortfall every year. Maybe it's not every year, but it's often that we hear about how there's not enough money in the government. What are we going to do now? Oh, woe is me. Emergency. We had to borrow from our savings fund. And now Governor Bentley is saying we need to change things. And I'm really curious to know what you think about what he's proposing. So I'd love to hear from you on that. And I think I see that our producer has Charles on the line, but maybe he's not ready to go to. I'm getting that. Just a minute. I guess they're not ready just yet. But back to the issue of our funding our state government. We will be addressing that with former Representative Paul DeMarco a little bit later in the day. So if you get a chance, tune in at 4:30 because he's going to give his perspective on what's happening in Montgomery and how to get this done and done correctly. We don't want to have to go through a crisis every time they have to face a budget decision. And that's pretty much how we've been living. And I don't know if you know families like this, but they just seem to exist from crisis to crisis. And you think, does life ever work smoothly for you? And how do you deal with that? It's a huge stressor. Anyhow, are we good to go?
Or he had to get to his landline. He's working on calling me back now. Okay.
All right. Well, then we will talk to Mr. Barkley. Chuck, I don't know. He has many names. The round mound.
The round mound of rebound?
Of rebound is one of them. Lots of
Sir
nicknames.
Charles?
Sir Charles. Yeah, boy. I didn't have that many nicknames. I don't think I had any nicknames. I don't think you're cool unless you have a nickname. Right?
Not necessarily.
I don't think I'm cool. I don't know.
Some nicknames aren't good. Doesn't mean you're cool if you have
Do you
a
have a
nickname.
nickname? Do you have a nickname?
Not here.
Oh.
I've had several through my school years, but none have stuck here.
Okay.
Richard, for a while, called me Captain America.
Oh, I can see that. Because?
Matt Murphy, used to be morning host, now midday, referred to me as pure as the wind-driven snow, and compared me to a Boy Scout and just a good American guy.
I see.
I know you can't come to these conclusions on your own because we just met, so I'm not expecting you to start referring to me as Captain America.
When I saw the movie with Captain America, oh man, is he good looking? Oh, I would take it as a compliment. And he's physically, ooh.
Yeah, well, see, I don't take it as a compliment. Well, I do, but my wife loved Captain America too.
Yeah, and that's why she married you?
No. But I mean, she says I'm the one she wanted to marry.
Aw. Hey, the line's ringing. Is that Sir Charles? By the way, okay, so while he's doing that, so what do you think of the new taxes that Governor Bentley is trying to push through? Do you agree with them? Should we be paying taxes on these cigarettes and liquor and what they call the sin taxes? So we have Charles on the line?
We do.
All right. Charles. How you doing?
I'm getting better. How you doing? How's the big city?
Oh, it's doing fine. It's 95 degrees and hot, but looking beautiful out there.
It's a good thing I can't go outside.
You can't go outside. Tell us how you doing. What's going on with you?
I had hip replacement surgery last week.
Oof.
So I'm stuck in the house for 6 weeks with a walker. It sucks.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Are you drugged up? Are you loopy?
Well, some people say that all the time, just for the record.
Because I'm wondering if you're taking some painkillers, what you're going to tell us, because we know what you say when you're not on painkillers, and it's just entertaining.
Let me tell you something. If there's a person in the world who has a new hip is not on drugs, they're going to be my new hero. There's no way you can go through, and the doctor says, hey, I'm going to go in there with this sledgehammer.
Oh, my God.
I said, Doc, don't tell me. Just do it. Please don't tell me anymore. But you know what? I'm getting better. It's been about 5 or 6 days. Now, 5 days. The thing that sucks, you can't speed up the rehab. It's not like a regular injury where you can, do more rehab and get better. So, like I say, it sucks. I'm stuck with a walker for 6 weeks. And then hopefully after that, they'll turn me loose a little bit.
Well, from what I understand, they show you what they actually insert in your body. So they say, here's this steel, whatever, or I don't know, what is it made out of?
Titanium.
Titanium, and it's not a golf club. It's an actual something in your body.
Yeah, you know what? But I've talked. Obviously, I did a lot of due diligence on it, and my friends who had it tell me it's like night and day. you try to put it off as long as possible. I probably should have did it 5 years ago. But, I just got to the point where I couldn't walk anymore.
Yeah, you've been walking with a limp for a while.
Yeah. For some reason, Donna, the last 3 or 4 months, everything just all went to hell. Like I say, I've been in pain, and I'm used to pain. That's no big deal. But for some reason, in the last 3 to 4 months, it just went haywire. And you know what? But I'm glad. I'm excited. He said I got probably a couple years to go on the left hip. But like I say, it just sucks not being able to do anything.
So what are you doing with your time?
Well, one of my goals has always been to learn Spanish. So that's the next thing on my agenda. Right now,
really?
Right now, I just want to sober up, to be honest. It's going well, though. But like I say, they can't do anything. It takes about 6 weeks for the muscle to grab, I guess, to the artificial hip. So you can't do any physical activities. I do a little walking every day with my walker.
Now, do they have somebody there who comes into the house and takes you for a walk and oversees?
No, you do that. Like I say, there's nothing. There's nothing you can do. You have to. I mean, like I say, it's a little painful in the beginning, and you get a little fatigued. But like I say, the thing that gets fatigued is your upper body, because you can only put about 40 to 50% weight on your right hip when you're walking. You're only doing you're working out and doing about 3 times a day, about 10, 20, 30 yards, no more than that. You can't, like I say, you just can't go crazy.
Well, and how would you rate the pain of going through this surgery? I mean, I know you've had some physical problems, not problems, but you've dealt with some physical pain.
I beat my body up pretty good.
Yeah.
I blew out both of my quads. Those are pretty big injuries. I blew out my tricep, my bicep. I probably did my rotator. My doctor, Dr. Andrews, is the best in the world. He's been fantastic for me for the last 30 years. He doesn't do hips, and but he was great talking to him about it. But I've had so many surgeries. They're no big deal. But this one's just a pain, because normally, like I said, I've never been able to, you can't do anything for 6 weeks. I'm like, what?
You're so restless. You're probably driving everybody around you crazy, aren't you?
Well, listen, it's more than anything, it drives me crazy. Like I say, just not being able to do anything. So this is the first time in my life I've had an injury that you couldn't. Like if you hurt your ankle or something, you're like, let's start doing exercise. It's going to be really painful. If you hurt your shoulder, you start doing exercise, and okay, they say 6 weeks. Let's see if we can make it down to 5 weeks. So, but you can't do that with this. You can't do anything for 6 weeks.
Wow. So you're going to learn some Spanish.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I can do.
And maybe get caught up on what's happening in the world.
No, I'm gonna read my newspapers every day, and it's important to know what's happening in the world. You can't, I like to read too. I can't go by all these fools they got on television. I'm watching these shows, and they're like, it's interesting watching these talk shows. CNN, they put one Republican on there, one Democrat on there, and you're like, they just argue for an hour and nothing gets solved. It drives me crazy. I mean, Fox News, they're going to do what they do, whether you like them or not. They have an agenda, and they fall by it. But I'm trying to make a decision on who I'm leaning toward. The president's election is coming up, so I'm paying very close attention to that.
Well, and I want to talk to you about that when we come out of this break. Will you stay with us?
Sure.
You feeling good enough?
Yeah.
I love it. All right. Well, we're going to take a break right now, and when we come back, we will continue our conversation with Charles Barkley about presidential politics. You're listening to WAPI.
This is Richard Dixon.